This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the B Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at bpodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply.
Welcome to Morning Motivation for Educators. I'm Danielle Newfer, a former teacher who knows firsthand how exhausting and overwhelming this work can be. After 20 years in the classroom and 2 bouts of burnout, I found tools to help teachers not just survive but thrive. Teaching Well was created to help educators like you manage stress, find balance, and reconnect with the passion that brought you to teaching. This podcast is your space to breathe, reflect, and take those small steps toward feeling more grounded and fulfilled. Your well-being is crucial to your school success, and I'm here to support you. Historically, the sabbatical has been seen as an absolute necessity for continued contribution to one's work. The word sabbatical comes from Sabbath, a designated day of rest. Traditionally, this rest came every 7 years, not as a luxury, but as a safeguard against burnout. It was time to set aside to deeply study one's craft, explore new methods, or simply restore what constant output depletes. Across centuries and cultures, the belief has remained steady. Rest is not optional. It is structural. Sabbaticals are offered every 5 to 7 years, have endured because they work. If something has lasted that long, it belongs in our toolbox, especially for teachers living such deeply seasonal lives. In fact, one of the best decisions I have ever made for my life was taking a sabbatical before I actually left my classroom. I never left education, but I did stop teaching probably about 7 years after I took my sabbatical. I write about this experience in my book, The Path of the Mindful Teacher, but the short version is this. That one choice completely shifted what I thought was possible for me and my family. What I learned during my sabbatical stayed with me as I prepared for our family to grow. I learned how to save. I learned how to decide what was truly necessary. I learned how to cut back before time off began. I learned how to work from home productively. I learned that showers are not just for going out in public. They're also for being able to stand yourself at home. But in all seriousness, my sabbatical gave me the space to restore my nervous system. My sabbatical unfolded across 2 spring semesters, the spring of 2015 and the spring of 2016, filled with moments of insight, moments of discomfort, and long conversations about what might come next for my partner and I. He was not working full-time either, so we had those years to build our businesses, talk, go to school, dream, train for things, hike, and realize how much we genuinely enjoy living simply. And maybe even a little unconventionally. I remember one midday run, struck by how gorgeous it was outside, thinking about how I never would have experienced that moment if I were in school, inside a classroom, surrounded by books that I love, yes, but also surrounded by rules and reasons to keep kids inside. That really doesn't sit well with me anymore. It doesn't feel developmentally appropriate for any of us. So a sabbatical is a predetermined break from the original routine, and I got to experience that during those semesters. Historically, it was essential to personal well-being and professional growth. And in that spirit, I challenge you from a very pragmatic place to explore what sabbatical options exist for you. If a full sabbatical feels impossible, I challenge you to think creatively. As you move through the last part of the school year, anticipate the next, could you schedule a break? Could you schedule a break during this winter season, during this time for rebuilding? A break from email, a break from social media, a break from the news? Is there a way to take a planned pause for a predetermined amount of time? It's not forever, it's just for now. And when that thought comes that you cannot do this because too many people need you, I invite you to experiment. Set the autoresponder, step away from social media, ask people to text you instead, see what actually happens, see what becomes more real and more connective. Teaching is a gloriously seasonal profession. We need to become more intentional about those seasons so we can rebuild the respites required to do our best work for our students, our classroom, and ourselves. So today, make a plan to take a sabbatical. Take a planned break. Next time, we will talk about what to do during that time, because one of the biggest traps is believing that nothing is what makes a sabbatical work, is that doing nothing is what makes a sabbatical work. That is the biggest misnomer of all. A sabbatical is a break from the norm, but not a break from your life, not even close. It's so much more than that. So check in with your body. Is it signaling yes? Is there a little nervous energy as you imagine what could be possible? If so, look at your calendar, map out the time, then begin to imagine what space could hold. Let us make this a true respite, one your spirit needs, your classroom needs, and your family needs. If this idea resonates with you, I'd love for you to explore it more deeply. You can order my book, The Path of the Mindful Teacher, or join the waitlist for the next round of Meet the Mess with Mindfulness, where we practice these ideas together in real time. Find links for this training and other ways we can work together in the show notes. And remember, caring for yourself is the best way to care for your students.
Thanks for listening. And whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.